All right, and welcome back to The Light right here on the mighty 91.7 WLFR Pomona here on the campus of Stockton University. And as promised, we have Patricia Tatum in the building, who is an Air Force veteran, and she corrected me behind the scenes. She is the commander of the American Legion post in Atlantic City. Did I get that right?
That's correct.
Okay, so we're here to talk about the 100th anniversary of the American Legion, the American Legion post in Atlantic City, the Soldiers' Home, right?
Not quite.
Not
Raymond.
quite.
Not
So
quite.
I tell you what. Here's what I've learned in DJ school.
Okay.
When you're not sure, give the mic over to the person with the knowledge and let them introduce themselves and tell them why you're here. So, Patricia Tatum, could you introduce yourself and tell us why you're here?
I am here, Raymond, because you asked me to come, first and foremost. We are here. We sparked up a conversation at I think it's the Atlantic City Black Chamber of Commerce function we were at.
Yes.
And we struck up a conversation, and I was telling you that the All Wars Memorial, or what the locals would call Soldiers' Home, is 100 years old. And I felt it's a travesty that the city did not celebrate it with balloons and confetti and, horses and parades and all of that, because the building is worthy of all that. The building was opened in 1924. So yes, chronologically it is 100 years old. But it was built to service the paperwork, Ordinance 6, written 1920 in Atlantic City. It was written for the colored sailors and soldiers and to service the community. And it is an awesome thing to look at the building and how it functions in the community today. 100 years later, it is still serving its purpose. They built it because the colored, because back in 1920, that's what we would call then, soldiers were not allowed to go in the building that was on the south side. That was for our Eurocentric brothers. Yes, they actually turned that building over to our now president-elect, and he promptly tore it down. So we're still standing. The American Legion Post is the oldest tenant in the building. I laugh with Mrs. Donnell Langford. I tell her we like the ugly cousin that lives in the basement. We're in the building, and we do what we can when we can to help out. But we have been there. Our post is 106 years old, so we're older than the building. Our charter says that they used to meet on Lincoln Avenue, the people that actually started the post. That is the Kenneth B. Hawkins Post 61 of the American Legion.
Okay, if you're just tuning in, you are listening to The Light right here on 91.7 WLFR. We're here with the commander of the post, Patricia Tatum. What is the purpose of the American Legion?
Oh, the American Legion is the largest veteran organization in the world. We are also 106 years old. We just celebrated our 106th year at our state convention in Wildwood this past June. But we have, we call them pillars: youth and community, rehabilitation of soldiers, national security, and my brain is locking up on that fourth pillar. But I'm going to think of it in a minute and I'll let you know. But that's what we do around the world. We started in Paris, France, at the end of World War One, and that's what we do. We have posts throughout the contiguous United States, Paris, down in the islands in Panama. We have a number of, not just Panama, but the Philippines. That's what I want to say. It starts with a P. Yes, we have a number of posts around the world serving veterans and the community.
Okay. I always ask this because I assume everybody out there knows as little about a situation as I do. Let's say I'm a veteran and I want to get some help or I need the American Legion for something. How do I do that?
Well, if you are a veteran, um, you can go to what we call a veteran service officer. Uh, there are a few around. They're certified uh, through the Department of Military and the MARVA, Department of Military and Veteran Administration. I'm going to make that up because I don't really know what the acronym stands for. But they actually are certified people that can take any veteran and tell you what your benefits are. They can file disability claims for you. There are a number of them. There's one that is in the Armory right there on Route 30 in New York Avenue. There are a staff of them in the Stillwater building over on Dolphin and Route 9. You can go to the clinic in Northfield and find out what services and stuff are available to you.
Okay, if you're just tuning in, you're listening to The Light. We're here at our Stockton University studios with Patricia Tatum discussing the 100-year anniversary of the American Legion Post
It's
number.
not the post. No,
It's
we're
not
not
the post.
talking about the post here. I
Okay.
came here specifically just to talk about the All Wars Memorial
Okay.
that
All right.
stands at the intersection of Adriatic and New York Avenue. That's
That's right.
1510 Adriatic. It's the
Okay.
building itself.
I'm a little slow, so I think I got it. The
Okay.
post is actually 106 years old
Yes,
itself.
yes. We are a
Older than the
tenant.
building.
Yes, we are a tenant organization in the building.
Okay.
You know.
And the building itself turns 100 this year.
Yes, it's about to be 101 because we're almost at 2025. It is December.
And that's why I was rushing to bring you in here because the All Wars Memorial Building has been a staple of Atlantic City as long as I can remember, and definitely longer because I'm not quite 100 years old yet.
Not quite.
Not quite.
Yeah. Okay.
But can you talk to me about the importance of the building to the city and the residents?
The building was built. Bunch of hotelers, hotel owners, and other businessmen decided that it was a need that they would ante up and build this building. And I'm talking about Ordinance Number 6, written in 1920. They were commissioners. It was introduced by Mayor Backrack in January 15th, 1920. And I quote, an ordinance to provide for the construction within the limits of the city of Atlantic City under the direction of a commission as hereinafter constituted with the aid of popular gifts by subscription of a public building to be dedicated to the public use as a permanent memorial commemorative of the services of soldiers and sailors of the colored race in any war in which the United States has participated, and further to provide for the purchase. They condemned some properties and so on and so forth, but that was its main purpose, to serve the colored soldiers. Understand the building has functioned as an induction station. That's where you go and raise your hand when you join the military.
Right.
It has served as a barracks for people that were coming home from war, going back to war. They actually slept in that building. Understand, to serve the community still today, it actually serves the community from cradle to grave. I'm talking about from baby showers to funerals, janazas, quinceañeras for the Latin community. It does the whole nine. You know, they have repasses there.
Right.
Sweet 16 parties.
Right,
You know, it's what we call them in our culture. Latin, you know, quinceañeras. So yes,
Right.
we do our annual, the Post does our annual stand down helping veterans, focused mainly on homeless veterans and at-risk veterans in that building. Organizations give parties, the like. It serves the community like that.
Yes. I know also the past several years during Ramadan, they've had celebratory events there. So it's not just a quote unquote Christian
Oh
meeting
no,
place at all.
not at all.
It's
You know,
welcome to all
janazas, yeah,
denominations.
janazas for Islam, that's their
Right.
burial ceremonies. Uh, like I said, quinceañeras for the
Yes.
Latin communities. If you can come there, you have a function. There's 3 ballrooms, there's an atrium, there's 2 catering kitchens or warming kitchens, first floor, second floor, uh, yes, third floor.
Right.
On the first floor and the second floor, there's a courtyard. There's fenced in out back. There's a courtyard with 2 life-size statues of a couple of Atlantic City heroes,
Okay.
Tuskegee Airmen, Purple Heart recipients, Alfred Ali, William Walker, who was an aviator. He actually lived till he was 76. And they're out there by the either side of the flagpoles.
Yeah.
So yes, you know, people walk by them every day and don't stop and read the plaques that go along with the statues.
Mm.
The Post just had an assembly at New York Avenue School, which is catty-corner to the building, and that was our topic: the building and those 2 statues out front. Because you know the other corner is Stanley Holmes Village, and their kids to come over, play, and bounce their balls off the building and off the statues and such as, and they don't stop to see who those people were or what they served or what they did.
Yeah, well, I tell you, I've been guilty of being young myself. When I was in my 20s, I had the opportunity to interview members of the Hannibal Killer Cox division of the Tuskegee Airmen.
Okay?
And when I was in the moment, I didn't appreciate the royalty that I was around. You know, and it wasn't
Yeah.
until years later when I dug up the pictures and thought about what they really did, and the fact that I had an opportunity to talk to these gentlemen, that I realized how blessed I was and how special that moment was. So, yeah, we do have to do a better job of getting our young people to get it. And again, that's why I wanted to bring you in to talk about this building turning 100. There's been so much to our community. And I didn't know it was built specifically to service quote unquote colored soldiers.
Yes, that was its purpose. Ordinance 6 lays it out very well. Have other references. During World War II, the West Side All Wars Memorial Building was used as an induction center, as temporary shelter for soldiers returning home from the war. It also served as a soup kitchen. It had a full gymnasium for rehabilitation and other military services. Of course, the post that I'm the commander of, Kenneth B. Hawkins, is there. The building has housed city offices, community organizations, and to think that this building, the money put up by this building were put up by hotel owners and white folks of the day that had money. You know, it was like a forerunner to Creta. You know, they can't seem to, well, we won't go there. But they actually put their money up and built something that lasts to this day, that is still in service to the community this day.
Okay, so don't hit me.
I won't.
Well, you haven't heard what I'm about to ask you yet.
I won't hit you regardless.
How much of it was that the hotel owners wanted to do something to pay respect to colored soldiers versus I don't want no stinking colored soldiers commiserating with the white soldiers?
Well, that's exactly what it was, because there was a counterpart to this building for the white soldiers on the south side. So
Okay.
yes, there was another building that looked quite similar to what Soldiers Home, the All Wars Memorial originally looked like. They probably used the same construction company, but that was the reason, because of segregation. They didn't want the colored soldiers over there on Pacific Avenue with the white folks. So that's the bottom line. That's what it was. It was 1920. Actually, it was 1916 when they started talking about this, the building itself.
Wow. So before we close up this segment and play a song, I want to make sure that we've covered everything that you, or most of what you wanted to cover. When you, in your mind, when you come and you discuss 100 years of the All Wars Memorial Building, the Soldiers Home, what are some of the things that come to mind? What are some of the things that you want us lowly civilians to understand?
Well, I want you to understand when you come in that building that there's a lot of history. You can come in downstairs, you see all the pictures